U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has called renewed calls for calm between Israel and Palestine amid a spike in tensions. Blinken met Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas in Ramallah after he met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem on Monday. The two leaders are at the presidential palace for talks. Blinken's visit comes amid one of the deadliest fighting in years in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem. The violence has further complicated the administration's already difficult attempts to find common ground with Netanyahu's government. Many have termed these tensions the deadliest times in recent years. Before heading to Ramallah, Blinken was in Jerusalem for about a day. He met Israel's top leadership, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the country's defense minister. He condemned the attack near the synagogue that put Israel on high alert. Blinken reiterated Washington's support for expansion of the Abraham Accords, but also said that the Accords cannot be a substitution for a two-state solution. He reaffirmed that it's the only solution to the long-lasting running Israel-Palestinian conflict.
We'll also discuss the deteriorating security situation in the West Bank, the ongoing cycle of violence that has claimed innocent lives. It's incumbent on all parties to take urgent steps to de-escalate tensions, establish conditions for the security and stability that both Israelis and Palestinians deserve. As I discussed with both the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister, we'll do the same with President Abbas. The United States stands ready to support the parties in this vital effort.
For more on this, we are joined by Jason Brodsky, a Middle East analyst. He's joining us from Washington, D.C. Jason, thank you so much for joining us on WION, and welcome back. This trip by Blinken seems to come at a very significant time, not only with tensions running high between Israel and the Palestinians, but a new government, somewhat new, in Israel, and then tensions also really simmering high with Iran as well.
Yes, it's great to be with you. I do think that it comes at a very sensitive moment. This is the Secretary's first trip to Israel since Benjamin Netanyahu took office again as Prime Minister. But I think the fundamentals of the Israeli-U.S. relationship remain strong and unchanged, irrespective of the personalities in the cabinet. There are strong institutional relationships that have been built up over decades and that can survive any turbulence with regard to certain issues.
And it was interesting because Ned Price on earlier in January, around January 19th, visited Israel also to meet with the new Israeli government. His trip paved the way for the Secretary of State Antony Blinken to visit, but it also provided the United States with an opportunity to really introduce and play on some sort of security structure or architecture between Israel and its neighbors, building up on the Abraham Accords. Some believe while the Abraham Accords have been very instrumental in building good relationships, notably economically, still there is much to desire when it comes to providing some sort of security partnership or architecture between Israel and its neighbors. Do you think that we're on the path to that and to seeing that with the United States helping achieve that with the new government in Israel?
I do think we're on the path to that. These processes take a long time. It was very important that Israel was integrated into the U.S. Central Command after the inking of the Abraham Accords. But I do think that there's going to need to be more work done with respect to expanding the circle of peace to include Saudi Arabia, Oman, and other countries that I know that Israel is interested in further deepening their relationships with and normalizing ties with. So that's going to be very important. But I think it's also equally important that the new Israeli government and Prime Minister Netanyahu to keep their eyes on that prize, notably the expansion of the Abraham Accords, and also working jointly with the United States to contain the threat from the Islamic Republic of Iran, and not let some domestic issues detract from those very important issues. And that will be very important in the months ahead.
Indeed. Jason Brodsky, thank you so much for joining us live from Washington, D.C., and we hope to see you again on WION.